Motivating students through the use of game-based learning. One of the most traditional approaches to teaching is a lecture-style approach. The teacher stands in front of the classroom delivering content and information to students through a monologue as the students sit in their desks and try to comprehend the information. The result of this style often leads to a student struggling to perform well on a test. The teacher ends up frustrated with the students' test results and spends time reflecting on how to reteach the material. A different approach to teaching is one where students are learning through online games. The teacher plays the role of facilitator and helps guide the students through their learning experiences. The results lead to students gaining more confidence and performing better on tests. The level of engagement and student motivation is the biggest difference between the two different approaches. Today, students of all ages engage in different forms of online games on a daily basis, whether it is playing Angry Birds or World of Warcraft. According to the Pew Internet Research Study, 70% of college students play video games. What is also surprising is that 60% of the college students playing games are women. Today's students' cognitive ability is challenged and shaped by the world of gaming. Often, students' traditional schoolwork appears tedious and meaningless in comparison. Online games motivate players to become active participants and bring people together, forming a global community sharing the experience. The idea of using games as a medium for learning came from the development of e-learning, which is focused on increasing students' motivation and achieving better results. Games that encompass educational objectives and subject matter are believed to hold the potential to render learning academic subjects more learner-centered, easier, more enjoyable, more interesting, and thus more effective. A study conducted in a high school computer science course compared the use of using game-based learning to acquire and retain information versus a traditional approach. The high school students involved in the study were a mix of gender, ability, and interest in online games. The results of the study clearly reflected that the group that was engaged in game-based learning were more motivated and performed better than the traditional approach. Gender differences and prior experience did not have an impact on the students' performance. Further research was conducted to measure the learning effects of game-based learning, but this time with a focus on junior high school students in a world geography course. The findings from this study correlate with the high school computer science study. The students that were involved in the game-based learning group outperformed the controlled group. The research also reflected that gender did not play a factor in the game-based learning system, despite a literature review that suggested that junior high school students had a stronger preference for online games. Another group conducted a study focusing on third grade elementary students in a nutrition course to evaluate the influence of game-based learning. The results of this study found that game-based learning improved students' attitudes and performance results. There was also no significant difference based on gender of students. The implications of all these studies is that game-based learning is an effective way of learning for students of all ages. Andrew Salcedo talks about a program that students use to reach higher math scores called Smart Math.
Hi, my name is Andrew Salcedo and I'm an educational technology trainer for Mesa Public Schools. I currently work on a program called Britannica Smart Math. The way Britannica Smart Math works for the students is it's a game-like interface. So it promotes time on task for the students. When the students are in the program, they are able to earn these stars and badges to earn different characters, so that keeps the students motivated because they want to keep doing good in the program so they can earn new characters. Another great feature about Smart Math is it's an online-based program, meaning that the students could get on at school wherever there's internet, but also they can do it at home. So teachers are able to promote this to parents, give them the usernames and passwords, and the students can work at home with their parents.
Research study after research study shows us that using game-based learning is an effective way to motivate today's students. The question is, where do we go from here? We know that students are already using games, but how do we as educators implement game-based learning into the classroom? How do we create learning environments geared towards our students? How can they create their own learning environment? Today we have the opportunity to have these questions answered. Chris Crawford, a well-known name in the gaming industry, began a project in 2008 where he created an engine for our interactive electronic story world called Storytron. Crawford is here tonight to talk to us about the lessons he has learned and the suggestions he has to give interested designers of games.